Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back with you for the kickoff for Survivor 49. Finally, we're so back here with the birthday boy. Hopefully not hungover. Give it up for Mike Bloom.
I mean, even if I was a hell of a hair of the dog, Rob, to talk about the 18 new players of Survivor 49. I'm thrilled to be doing it alongside the man, the myth, the legend, ROBGOD, Rob God.
Yes, that's not the first time I've been called that, Michael. Yes.
Listen to this, Rob. It's a brand new day, and there's a lot going on in the reality TV universe right now. And so we just get another nice piece of ingredients added to the cosmic stew that is reality television. With over a month early, we're getting the cast of Survivor 49.
Yeah, so much going on indeed. And so Survivor 49 is a piece of the ever-shifting reality landscape, and that is coming out. Premiere date just over 1 month away. What is it? Is it 5 weeks from today?
September 24th, yeah.
Yeah. So coming out in just it's only 5 Wednesdays till Survivor is back. And so we are here to talk about the official release of 18 people that we've never heard of before. We are going to now learn of them for the very first time as we talk about the cast of Survivor 49.
Yes, and so this is our first moment to dip the toes in the proverbial waters. If you are new to our entire preseason process, I had the great pleasure of getting to go out to Fiji on set, interview these contestants. Yeah, listen, it is a hell of a perk of the job, Rob. And I got the chance to talk with these contestants days before they entered the game. So over the next couple weeks, we are going to be releasing all of my interviews here with the contestants. We're going to be doing our own sort of breakdown of these contestants, of the tribes that they are in. So we will keep you well fed and sat before we watch everyone assumingly get up out of their seats at tribal council and start whispering a month from now.
So Mike, how was your birthday?
It was great. No dishes for me. That's like the bottom rung, the low bar that you have to clear.
No dishes for me.
Yeah, you don't. If you're doing dishes on your birthday,
you're
Rob,
being Rodney.
Yes, exactly. That is the Survivor birthday standard, which I strive to for the past 10 years, honestly, of my life. So it was great. Thank you to everybody who reached out.
I don't mind the dishes. I got to be honest. I listen to a podcast. Like, I feel like one of like my favorite chores, the dishes.
Really? Okay. If you're power ranking chores, dishes would be at the
top.
But
I'm a dishwasher guy, and I am a big dishwashing loader and unloading guy. But very much like it's just like listening to something and then just doing that in the background. I love it.
I would agree. I always have the worry from either sort of aspect as to how clean the dishes actually are. But I think much like Survivor proper, there's sort of like a mentality you have to walk in with of like, yeah, you might be eating food off of a plate that contains detritus from the previous meal, but just some of the reality you have to live with.
When you take the dishes out of the dishwasher, you're very concerned that the dishwasher didn't get it completely clean?
Listen, if anything we've learned in this day and age, machines can only get us so far in this world. Nothing beats good old-fashioned dirty work.
Yeah, so you'll get it. You really get in there, and you'll rather go by hand. Watch it, Mike. Okay.
No, listen, Clint Black from The Celebrity Apprentice. I agree with that.
All right.
Very niche reference.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. We're talking about the cast of Survivor 49, and so, Mike, what else do you want to set up before we start to talk about these wonderful new Survivor players?
Yeah, so there actually is a lot to set up here for Survivor 49 because we face, I would say, an unprecedented situation in multiple ways here.
Uncharted waters.
Exactly. Even though we are in very charted waters, considering that we have been in Fiji for the past 10 years. So there's stuff to talk about from both a fan perspective as well as a player perspective. The fan perspective, so due to sort of the out of order announcement of these casts, right? With Survivor 50 getting their cast announced a few months ago, we know that there are going to be 2 players from this season on the cast of Survivor.
I had heard that.
Exactly. There were some brief rumblings about it. Let me also say, outright here for those that were worried about, their identities possibly being revealed. Anything that myself or Rob talk about in the preseason here only reflects upon these people's performances in a Survivor 49 proper. I did, cards up, get the chance to go out there for Survivor 50 as well. I do know the 2 Survivor 49ers who are on 50, but
Interesting.
But I am going to make any assessments of these players specifically in this season. So you do not need
We're talking about Survivor 49 now, okay?
Exactly. Listen, you got to stay focused on the moment.
We'll talk about Survivor 50 when we get to Survivor 50.
That's
Stop getting ahead of yourselves.
Problem. And so I hope that decorum will extend to the comments, at least. Let's try to
try. It's the first day of Survivor 49. Can you all please be on your best behavior?
Exactly. Listen,
can we get off on the right foot, please?
Absolutely. Listen, it's harder work. We have to scrub these comments, hopefully not as much as I scrub the dishes when they come out of the dishwasher. So we'll setting that up. I think it's going to create a really interesting perspective to look at who might be coming back from the standouts of this cast. The reason why we actually are late releasing this is because I just got off of the Jeff phone. I got Probst on the line.
Oh my God.
To quote Rocky. And, I got a lot of interesting perspectives on him. When it came to that, he admitted that, he did not necessarily come into this season knowing if there would be anyone from 49 on 50. And actually, they found not only 1, but 2 fantastic people from their perspective that completely changed how many people were on the cast overall. So more of that to come. The other big thing is, we talk about looking ahead, but looking to the first day of the game, Rob, we had a very unorthodox and I would dare say historic event occur even before the game started, because we had, of course, for those of you who do not know, when the cast of a Survivor season goes out to Fiji, we watch 18 individuals play the adventure of a lifetime, but usually there are 20 people in Fiji. That is because with every season, there is a male alternate and a female alternate should anything happen, and a member of the cast have to essentially pull themselves out of the running. They are there to step in if need be. The new era has been laden with these alternates. Rob, you have Gio in 43. Kelly Nalbandian was an alternate. Austin obviously makes it as a runner-up.
I didn't know Gio was an alternate.
Yeah, he was an alternate for 43. He got put in at the last second. Shaheen, of course, was an alternate for 46, and maybe the patron saint of alternates, Rachel Lamont, ends up being an alternate for 46. Comes back next season to great acclaim. And we have a big rarity happening in 49 as due to, situations that happened in the pregame, not one, but both alternates from Survivor 49 were put into the game. They were told about this 12 hours before the season started. And so
the double switch.
Yeah, exactly. And so in the midst of, a mere matter of hours, they went from, okay, maybe there's a chance you get on 51, 52. Thanks for being here. Sorry for you. To, okay, get your pads on. You're playing now. And I think without getting into too much, you can see that attitude very much reflect in them from the jump, as they are not going to waste this opportunity.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. You don't know you're going to go out there and you think you're not. And then all of a sudden you're the backup quarterback who then has to go in and play.
Yeah, the Brock Purdy story, perhaps, or the Tom Brady, if you will, to go back to the Rodney of it all. And
let's maybe end the Rodney here.
Listen, they are not the only ones that have a tryst with the alternate experience. We have Sage, who is the alternate from Survivor 47, is in this cast. Sophie, the alternate from Survivor 48, is in this cast. And this is the last newbie season, obviously, before 50, which is all returnees. So interestingly enough, Rob, almost a quarter of the cast kind of have this mutually shared experience of getting to go out to Fiji and being labeled as an alternate. And given, the past precedent, as
alternate
well as that,
alliance coming up, Mike?
That could happen.
Yeah. What would be the name of the alternate alliance?
Ooh, like the subs, second stringers, something like that.
Yeah. The replacements.
Subs to get dubs, perhaps.
It's a little wordy for Survivor Alliance, but okay. So we had a switch right before people go in, and then some players who are, and you'll tell us who those players are, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say up front right now, we're going to get into them very soon. It is Jason and MC are the two alternates for this season. And I'm upfront about them because we are very upfront about the situation in our interviews as well. And those are little fun time capsules as well. Obviously, they are at the outset to see the players' mentalities before jumping into the game. What will they, follow from their own pregame words, or for the most part, what will they not follow in contrast to their pregame words? But this is even more of a time capsule because here these two people are being like, yeah, for all intents and purposes, I know I'm not in the cast. This is more of a casual, laid-back conversation that we'll have again a year from now. And all of a sudden, now they're being told, nope, the opportunity is now. It's happening right now. And so to see that mentality shift, again, was very fun to watch in the moment. And I'm intrigued to see how it's going to be personified on the episode proper.
Okay. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. Do we want to just also include how we're going to cover all this in the preseason?
Yeah, it's going to be nice and simple here. So we kind of settled upon, much like a lot of the new era constructs proper, a nice formula for the way we do things, which is that we are going to release each cast interview individually. And then at the end of that, Rob and I are going to do a bit of a roundup, our opinions about each cast member, and our preview of the tribe dynamics overall. Now, because we have a long runway before we get to September 24th.
Wait, is there a person on the runway?
Yes, we'll talk about someone who definitely spends his day-to-day on the runway. It is not Shawnee, surprisingly. But we have decided, in the past couple seasons, we've done 2-a-days. We are going to just do simple, daily interviews. So one.
Well, Mike, here's the thought process behind that, where we said, it was so great yesterday that yesterday was all about Mike Bloom. It was a national holiday. It was Mike Bloom
National holiday.
Everybody was celebrating Mike Bloom. And we said, couldn't we do this? Because Survivor 49, that people are like, where's Survivor 50? No, he said, no, we're going to celebrate every single damn person in this cast. And this is like a little like out of school. Sam Moore was like, just put them all out one day. Who cares? It's like, no, we're going to put out every day. Let's make it special for each contestant. Give every survivor deserves their day.
Yes.
And that's what we're going to do, because we're going to put out one interview a day for each person. And they're the only person that we care about on that day.
There is a 24-hour window in which you can talk about that person and only
it's all about them.
Until we get to the 7th day, the several day, where then we loop back and talk about.
And then we'll talk about the whole tribe.
Yeah, so that also lays things out really nicely, where essentially we're going to do a tribe a week. So we'll get into the schedule a bit with specific names later on, but essentially it is going to be 6 days, 1 interview per day, and then on the 7th day, Rob and I do not rest. That is for sure. He and I will get together and preview that tribe and recap the interviews, and that's going to start tomorrow.
Yeah. Very fun. Okay. And so we will start rolling those out for the next couple of weeks, just doing 1-a-days.
There we go. Exactly. Again,
audio and video of Mike's interviews from Fiji.
Yeah, so we know Survivor.com. That's your one-stop shop for everything we've got going on here in the preseason. But I'm excited for people to get to know this cast. I do think this is a really fun cast full of, again, a variety of personalities and backgrounds, experiences with the fandom of the show. And you never know until these people end up setting foot in Fiji, but I really enjoy getting to talk with them on an individual basis as well.
I saw a question about the time of when we're going to drop those each day. I think that we'll have the podcast come out first thing in the morning. I think that we'll do the live premiere as a lead-in to Sam saying 10. I thought I said 10:30.
So, well,
what the hell, Sam?
Here's the other thing. To defend Sam, these interviews are a bit on the longer side. Some of them do run about like 15, 16 minutes. Others, you might want to grab a cup of coffee and sit down to truly relish the experience. So to not jut up against all the great work that Taryn is doing with Big Brother, we're going to start on 10 on the dot.
All right. Okay. Sam's cheering in the background. I'm like, what? Are we worried that Taryn's gonna accidentally start 20 minutes early on the live feed update one day?
I mean, listen, Rob, there's a lot of stuff to get into with this Big Brother season.
All right, but we never start early. Of like, hey, there's too much stuff. I gotta jump on. I can't wait till 11.
So if you're a fan of CBS reality TV, and who isn't nowadays, you get a nice little double feature creature feature with these
All right,
interviews
10
when
a.m.
it's a live feed update.
Okay. All right. So, Mike, are we ready to talk about our tribes?
Yes, let's meet the 49ers, speaking of Brock Purdy.
Okay, yes. And what a transition. Let me just quickly mention that we are going to be in San Francisco for the RHAP live show. Those tickets are available for November 5th. Patrons are already buying them up. The pre-order or the early access tickets is available for patrons for our San Francisco event. But in the more immediate future, we are going to New York City October 8th. And as far as I understand, those tickets are now available to the general public after the patrons had their shot
Robert
at early
DiCanio
access.
and the public are coming?
Yes, he's welcome. He is invited, the general.
He is a limo driver, much like you are in this picture.
Well, that's more of a taxi.
I suppose so. Drivers are drivers.
Yeah. Go to robbinswebsite.com/events for that. Go to robbinswebsite.com/events for information on how to be there with us in person. You never know who's going to be there. You never know who's going to come on the stage and whose cousins are going to be there at robbinswebsite.com/events. Okay. And Mike Bloom will be there in person.
I'll be at both events at the moment. So whether that is a huge attractor or detractor, feel free to check it out.
Okay. All right, here we go. Let's kick it off with the Hina tribe.
Yeah, so the tribes this season are named after, as Jeff sort of espoused in the opening, certain qualities that players who do well in Survivor should have. And so Hina, which is our yellow tribe, represents intuition.
Yeah, okay, great. I mean, but they're really like, is it like a brains versus beauty versus brawn type situation?
No,
or just
again, this is, no overall theme with this cast. They just tried to do something a little different with the naming of it.
Okay, there you go. All right, the Hina tribe. Am I saying that right?
Yep.
Is it Hina or Hina?
Well, listen.
If a Hina eats the mush and then licks his bum.
You're talking out of your Hina if you're pronouncing it that way, Rob. It is indeed Hina.
Hina. Okay. All right.
Shall we
got? Who's up first?
Well, we're starting with our first cast member we're talking about is actually one of the people who entered the season last. It is one of the alternates from this season. This is Jason Truel. Jason is 32 years old, originally from Anaheim, California, currently lives in Santa Ana, California, and he currently has his job listed as a law clerk, but this guy has lived a very storied career. He started right out of college pouring acid into vats, became a software engineer at Google. And
pouring acid into vats?
Yeah, and he has all the fingers to live to tell the tale, as you can see from this photo, though no thumbs, Bryce, should be noted. But he went from that.
Wait, now, no thumbs because of the acid?
That's a good question. If the thumbs are not able to be visible in the photo for myriad of reasons, does that mean anything? But Jason then went to become a software engineer at Google. And due to the death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, he then pursued a career in law, which he was going after at the time that we are talking. Jason found Survivor via way of Kenny Huang, because Jason is a prominent member of the Super Smash Brothers community. And so seeing a fellow gamer on there, Jason decided years later to pick up the controller for himself. Okay,
well, that is quite an interesting background. And seemingly no through line through any of the things that you mentioned.
And what I will say is, to tease one last thing about Jason is that, at the end of the interview, I usually ask, what celebrity or fictional character would you want to bring out for a loved one's visit? I've been doing this for a number of years. Far and away, the most unexpected answer was contained in Jason's interview.
Okay. Oh, what a tease. What a tease. Okay.
All right. Next up.
How old is Jason, you say?
32.
32. Okay.
All right, next up is Christina Mills. Christina is 36 years old, originally from Houston, Texas, and now lives in Edmond, Oklahoma. She is an MBA career coach. She was originally an engineer, but also sort of made the career transition. Christina has been through a lot in her life as
Yeah, it
of
sounded
late.
like it.
Yeah, she recently went through some postpartum depression where she had 2 babies in the midst of 2 years. She lost her mother to addiction. And so she is, ironically, even though, Keith Nail infamously said that going on a cruise is fun, Christina opted not to go on the cruise to get away from it all, but to instead go on Survivor.
Yeah, I mean, that's a choice. Now, yeah, having one baby is hard. Having 2 babies is very hard. We'll see. I don't think anybody's ever I've heard that before of like, hey, gotta shake things up.
What's also really interesting about this cast, and I don't know if this is something that is merely coincidental, considering that we are going to have returnees on the next season, but while these people are all, fabulous individuals in their own right, I was getting a lot of vibes of previous players from talking with these people.
Yes.
And
Who did she remind you of?
Suri. She,
Oh,
wait until my interview with her. She literally is Suri, this bright, positive personality, a self-proclaimed social nerd. She even compares herself to Suri as well in her bio. So see if you can pick up the vibes a bit when I sit down and talk with her.
okay. All right. Well, now something to look forward to.
All right. Next up, we have Matt Williams. This is the guy you would commonly find on a runway, Rob, because Matt is an airport ramp agent. What that means essentially is if you look out if you look out the right side of the plane, you'll see those guys unloading the bags, to and from the plane. Matt is one of those guys, but he was not always. About 10 years ago, Matt was working in finance, but decided to have enough of the white collar life and go to, I don't know if this is blue collar or no collar, but decided to kind of, forge his own path, if you will. And so found a job at the airport where he could, travel to a bunch of places that he wanted to go.
Okay. Now, is he the guy with the lightsabers, like the lights? Is that what he does?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. It seems like from what he was talking about, it's more about handling baggage. And I don't know how much baggage he comes into in the game with from a personal perspective. But Matt, and you could see this sort of like from the visage he presents, really wants to be regarded as sort of like the just happy to be here vibes guy. He grew up hunting and fishing. He wants to just be like the old guy provider, but he calls himself a Trojan horse because, again, he has that financial background to him that he hopes he can, be able to flex down the line when it comes to working with numbers.
Yeah, I think he has such an interesting story of that. It was this new job that he got just something is like, hey, that I just show up here and this is just what I do? Or was this something, did he leave his career specifically for this?
It seems like from what he expressed to me that he kind of just wanted to do away with quote unquote the rat race in general.
Yeah.
And then just had a friend who worked at the airport being like, I get to fly all these places for free. And Matt's like, okay. That's kind of like Matt's general attitude that comes across in my interviews, that as much as he wants to present himself as kind of like this easygoing, happy-go-lucky guy, he very much is that person at his core too.
Okay. All right. There's Matt.
All right. Well, I've got not one, but 2 alternates for you, Rob, on the Hina tribe. Both of the last-minute replacements on this season ended up on the same tribe. This is Michelle Chukwujekwu, or you could just call her MC.
That was very impressive, Mike.
I hopefully MC can speak to that as well. I'm glad it presented well to you. I have no idea if I said that correctly, hopefully. But MC is, I should mention as well. So Matt, 52 years old, originally from Farmington, Utah, currently lives in St. George, Utah. MC, originally from Saxe, Texas, currently lives in San Diego, California, and she is a fitness trainer.
Okay. All right. So MC is very new to Survivor, right?
Yes. So MC's first episode of Survivor was season 47, episode 3.
Yeah.
So basically,
that's a little bit of a sore spot with me.
She specifically came on with her like, I heard Asia's gone. I've got to check this out for myself. As much love as I have for Asia, but MC immediately fell in love with the game, binged half the seasons, and now basically 6 months later, she ends up finding herself in Fiji on the cast.
Wow. I mean, she's an overachiever.
I mean, this is somebody who is...
She's getting stuff done.
She's
MC, be my personal trainer. If you can get results like that, like, hi, I'm MC, and 6 months ago, I didn't even know what Survivor was. But this is me now. I have binged half of the seasons, and I'm on the show. Yeah, Work with me.
You need like a late night infomercial being like, I can sell you on what you need to know about Survivor, because I was able to do it too. But MC, while she is probably predominantly a trainer, does have sales experience as well, and much like another MC, hopes she can spin her way into a situation.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next up, we have...
They tried to make me an alternate, and I said no way, and I got onto the island. That's just another thing you'll find out when you work with me.
Exactly. And not only am I selling you this plan, I'm also its leading case. All right, next up here, again, the third alternate, or former alternate, I should say, on Hina, Sophie Segretti. So this Sophie S, because we have two Sophies on this season.
What are the chances? We go 25 years with one Sophie.
Well, they really wanted to give us a Sophie's Choice for season 49.
And now they say, you know what? Forget it. Now we have two Sophies.
Well, the first one we're meeting is Sophie S., who is 31 years old, originally from Darnestown, Maryland, currently lives in New York City. She is a strategy associate for YouTube. And
hey.
Exactly. Hopefully she will be one to watch over the course of this season. Sophie, I talked to very recently at the time I was in Fiji, because she was the female alternate for Survivor 48. And she talks a lot about how that experience really informed how she approached this one. How, again, it was a 9-month period, essentially, between her trips out to Fiji. But she feels like she's coming in with a completely different headspace and hopefully a toolbox, considering she calls herself, quote, handy as hell.
Handy as hell?
That is her quote.
She, fixes things.
Yeah, fixes things, does her own housework, etc. So, listen, look out, Wendell. There might be a new refurbisher on the horizon when it comes to survivor shelters.
Yeah.
Get that. Where's that HGTV show coming her way?
Yeah. Sophie Segretti.
Beautiful pronunciation, Rob. I will give the compliment back to you.
Okay.
Last but not least on the Hina tribe, Stephen Ram. Stephen Ram is 35 years old. He is from Littleton, Colorado, originally, currently resides in Denver, Colorado. And Rob, much like your beloved Dave Johnson, he's a rocket scientist.
Yes. Okay. Right. Am I missing any other rocket scientists? Of course, Dave Johnson, and then John Fincher.
I was going to say, yeah.
And then Stephen Ram.
Yeah, I mean, he's
missing anybody?
I mean, you have Carson, right, with his NASA experience. He was a rocket scientist up to that point. But yeah, suffice it to say, if you read Parvati's book, you know that there needs to be some good words put back in terms of rocket scientists on Survivor. And Stephen is here to do just that. But Stephen really touts the fact that he is well balanced, because not only does he have this day-to-day with NASA, but simultaneously he is a musician. He always kind of grew up artistically minded. Stephen has a very unique experience in that he grew up for the first 20-something years of his life with a hearing condition that was undiagnosed. And so he kind of had to learn to infer things from people based on things like body language, the energies with which they were communicating, etc. And so, he does wear 2 hearing aids that he will throughout the game. But I think that he's hopefully able to bank on a bit of that to hopefully inform his present game.
Yeah, that's a very interesting background. And Mike, am I, not to go too far ahead, but I feel like he's not the only contestant in this season that shares that same distinction?
Ironic to say, Rob, but you heard correctly. Yes, That is correct. Stephen makes a lot of very fun astronomy metaphors in our conversation, as you would expect him to do, however long he lasts on the season. He wants to play, Rob, like a supermassive black hole, and here's hoping he doesn't turn out to be a supermassive a-hole.
Fingers crossed for Stephen.
And that is the Hina tribe.
Perfect. All right. we've got then two more tribes to talk about. We've got second tribe here is the Kela tribe.
Kela. 1 for 2, Rob,
Kela.
there on the pronunciations. Kela. Kela Nalbandian, again, famous alternate. Kela.
Yeah, what the hell tribe?
What the
Yep.
hella, Kela? Kela stands for courage.
Okay. All right. So the Courage tribe.
Yes,
and they are wearing blue.
They are wearing blue, but they are beaming right now as they all had the courage to join this game. Let us start with Alex Moore.
Okay.
Alex is 27 years old, originally from Evanston, Illinois, currently resides in Washington, D.C., and he is a comms director for a congressperson.
Okay. So is this our BB-27 Jimmy equivalent here?
I mean, to be fair, when I was talking with him, he did still have a job, so maybe there is a bit of a discrepancy there. But yeah, Alex, became one of the youngest comms directors in congressional history. This is somebody who very much walked into a situation knowing how he was perceived and being able to showcase what he is capable of despite his young age, and he's hoping to do so again on the island here.
Well, what's he doing out here on Survivor? Doesn't he have important work to do?
He was able to get some time off. I think actually, maybe Christina was not the only one looking to take a bit of a break from his day to day. I think by comparison, Survivor might not be as cutthroat as Congress these days.
Is he still working in the Congress?
I believe he is still to this day.
Okay. All right. So, all right. That's pretty cool.
So Alex, considering the environment he operates in, is definitely someone who's very strategically minded. Sorry, Asher just walked in. But there we go. So he is somebody who is happy to use gossip to his advantage. He calls himself the office gossip, is used to talking about what's going on around Capitol Hill. But he does admit, Rob, wears a little bit of his heart on his sleeve, and his heart might be open. I don't think we might not go full showmance in this season, Rob, but if we're looking for potential, this might be the main culprit.
Okay. So Alex could be tempted. I do feel like that, especially like after, we're in Big Brother season, I feel like that the people who talk about in their bios, like, hey, the one thing I'm worried about is getting into a showmance.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah.
Exactly. Like the heart wants what it wants. And it's expressed, on the page, in the interviews, and maybe on the island as well. But right now, Alex has his mind on hopefully winning one big, beautiful $1 million bill.
Okay. All right. So there's Alex. Who else you got here?
So we've got Kimberly, Annie,
Trashy
David.
Annie?
Yes, Rob, how dare you cast aspersions on her?
That's in the band!
You just met
She's
her,
in the
Rob!
band!
Come on!
She was in the band!
So yeah, let's talk about this. Annie Davis is a musician. She is 49 years old, originally from Portland, Oregon, currently lives in Austin. She is the creator and front person of a band called Trashy Annie. She's a veritable rock star, Rob, and she has the hair to match it.
Okay, so Trashy Annie is a band. She's the front woman for the band, right?
Yes. So she helped, coalesce the band together. They've gone on many tours, run awards, to the point where, Rob, Annie found out that she was going to be on Survivor 49 a month before she left to go to Fiji while she was on tour.
So is she a Survivor fan? Like, what's her history with the show?
She's a fan of Survivor. Yeah, this is not necessarily a recruit situation. She's watched the show in the past. In fact, Rob, she told me off mic that she knows this podcast. So yeah, so she is in there for sure. Now, what's interesting is sort of like Steven, Annie sort of leads this double life, because not only is she this successful musician, Rob, she's also the CEO of her own company.
Wow. Okay.
And it's, again, completely opposite.
What does the company do?
The company is called Run Lab.
I think you say that she's in waste management. The company is called Trashy Annie.
I mean, that would be hell of great branding, right? Like, if you need to get your garbage taken out and listen to some rockin' tunes, have I got the place for you? We're just creating a lot of branding opportunities for this cast right now. You're welcome, 49ers. But yeah, Annie runs this company called Run Lab, which runs a lot of biometrics for runners. And so again,
Run Lab.
She leads a very interesting day-to-day life. And she absolutely sparkles in my interview with her, Rob. And that's not just because she was covered head to toe in glitter for her photos.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, a glitter. Like a Lisa BB-26?
Luckily, she's not.
Is it edible glitter?
Well, she's not sprinkling it around the camp, though. I have a feeling a lot of it was left around the camp, considering how much that tough stuff tends to stick around, and hopefully she will over the course of the season.
Okay. Maybe one day she could shred with Ben Katzman.
I mean, that is a match made in heaven, in my opinion. We are slowly but surely assembling our own sort of school of rock. Hey, Mike White could get involved.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll text him.
All right. Next up, Jake Latimer. Jake is 36 years old, originally from Regina, Saskatchewan. Currently lives in St. Albert, Alberta, the first Albertan resident to play Survivor. And he is a correctional officer.
Okay. Yes. And finally, we got a Canadian back on the show.
Yes, we have yet another Canadian back again representing a new province. Jake has a really interesting story, coming in with one of the most unique personal backgrounds of this cast. He is somebody who, for a brief portion of time, went to go play professional hockey in Australia. Maybe did some other stuff in Australia that we will get into when recapping his time in the interview with me. But
playing Survivor?
No, though he does look like actually he's built perfectly. He's very Australian Survivor coded, because I think this is by far the most physical presenting member of the cast. He gets talked about a lot amongst the other players due to his stature. But Jake is all about family right now. Hopefully he'll play the game fast and furious, because Jake wanted to jump at the opportunity to play Survivor because his dad has glaucoma. And so he wanted essentially this to be, this might be the final season of Survivor that his dad watches. And so he wants him to be on it. But that might come at the cost of another large life event that is happening at the same time as Rob. Jake is missing the birth of his first child to play Survivor.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's just due to 50, I think the timing just had to line up here, where he felt, much like you do during the season proper, this was the time he had to take the shot, and we'll see if it's a goal. Yeah.
That's right, as Wayne Gretzky and Michael Scott will tell you. Any relation to Marvin Latimer?
I mean, they look like brothers at this point, right? We'll see if Jake has like a stogie sticking out of his mouth as soon as he hits the beach.
Okay. All right. So here's Jake. What's on his shirt? With flowers?
Flowers, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, we've got one Canadian. How about I double your pleasure here with another one? This is Jeremiah Ng. Jeremiah is 36 years old as well. Also originally from Regina, Saskatchewan. Currently lives, Who's
Jeremy?
Exactly. Sir Jeremiah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. I was looking at Jake's here. Jeremiah is from Canada. He is originally from Windsor, Ontario, currently lives in Toronto, and he is a global events manager, but he comes to that after spending time on a very different runway than Matt. He spent more than a decade in the fashion industry.
Oh, look at you, Jeremiah.
Yeah, much like, again, a different Jeremiah spent his time on the runway, and this Jeremiah was working behind the scenes on the runway. Yeah.
I love his last name, Ng. Like, it's almost like that he's turned himself into like a verb. Like, I'm Jeremiah Ng.
Well, he's a human gerund, and he's a Jeremiah as well. So we also see what he will be doing in this game.
Like, if you were, if somebody's like, oh, you're Mike Ng. Like, oh.
Well, what's fun is that Jeremiah, we saw him in the sneak peek of 49 at the end of the 48 finale, where he said that, like,
robbing.
Yeah, well, exactly. I don't know robbing, I guess, could be take multiple meanings on there. But Jeremiah, when he told, his loved ones that he was playing, they laughed at him. And so he is someone that is so unexpected to play Survivor, Rob, that he told basically everyone in his life, except his dad, that he was not playing Survivor. He was going to go climb Mount Everest.
Okay.
So unfortunately, I don't know, maybe he missed his casting call for the summit, but Jeremiah is instead trying to summit his game here on Survivor. And speaking of his dad gave him some very salient advice going into the game. If you have to talk to somebody, talk to a tree.
Okay.
Doesn't want them spilling too much information, so talk to the trees.
It's a little Game of Thrones, the talk to the tree.
Yeah, we'll see who can warg into a potential winner here.
Is having Mount Everest as your cover story like a little too impressive, where then when you tell people that you actually were on Survivor, they're like, oh, okay. I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many people climb Mount Everest in its history. I feel like it's less than the number of people that have been on Survivor, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like 700 plus something on Survivor. So if it's greater than or lesser than, we'll see. I'm also very intrigued to see what everyone's reaction was when they saw this trailer. It's like, isn't that the guy that was supposed to climb Mount Everest? What's he doing? Did he like make a stop off at Fiji before heading to Tibet?
He's Jeremiahing. Like
Exactly.
when you say you're gonna go do something impressive, and then it turns out you just were going on Survivor. You're Jeremiahing.
Jeremiah is gonna be Jeremiahing all over the place. All right, last two members of Kela. Let's talk about Nicole. Nicole Mazzullo, if I'm saying that correctly, Rob. Age 26, actually turned day 26 on the day we spoke. So very recently turned 26. Yeah. Originally from an area you know well, Rob, Long Island, New York.
It's too general. What part? Nassau, Suffolk, North Shore, South Shore? No, Nicole.
Steven's in Nassau. She's in Nassau. Actually, a very good connection, though, between the two, because Nicole also suffered from hearing loss when she was growing up, and similarly kind of inferred a lot through body language, which she credits with a skill. Currently lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and is a financial crime consultant. So hopefully she'll be able to identify some frauds out there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Interesting background. The family was had a bagel store.
Yep, her family had a bagel store. She staved away the bagel empire to become a financial crime consultant. And Rob, this is very prescient, given your recent talking with T-Bird. Nicole describes herself as the love child of Boston Rob and Shambo.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Shambo just last week on Talking with T-Bird. T-Bird had chased down Shambo for years to get Shambo to be on the podcast, and not enough people have listened to that interview. So definitely check that out, and it will be a great research assignment before we check out Nicole. I'm trying to think of what a Shambo Boston Rob love child would look like.
I mean, it'd be tough to contain that mullet underneath the Boston Red Sox hat. It feels too antithetical to each other.
Yeah, because they're so different, Shambo and Boston Rob, but both like strong-willed, big personalities, I would say.
All right, our final member of the Kela tribe, we've got double the alternates, double the Canadians, double the Sophies. Here is our other Sophie. This is Sophie Balerdi.
Sophie Balerdi. So many potential Italian last names in this cast.
Well, Sophie's family is from Cuba originally. She is 27 years old, currently lives in Miami, Florida, and she is an entrepreneur. She owns a cell phone repair business.
Okay, good. A lot of people need that. Chappelle, his phone is totally broken right now.
Well, maybe she could take a hop, skip, and a jump over to Texas to fix that. Sophie's dream is owning a McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully if she gets to day 26 and she, states her case to the jury, they'll say, ba-da-ba-ba-ba, we're loving it.
Yeah. So, all right. She went to grad school in North Carolina, I read. Do we know what school?
I'm not entirely sure. She might need to clarify on that. But yeah, she also went to Duke. She went to Duke. Now I'm remembering now. Okay. She went to Duke for business school. So Sophie is somebody who, again, she even admits, reminds you a lot of Dee, considering her family background, where she resides, the fact that she is an entrepreneur, but she has a big family connection to Survivor as well. Her grandmother got her linked up with the show. Her grandmother learned English watching Jeff. So unfortunately, Sophie had lost her grandmother a few years back, but considering how much the two of them bonded over getting to watch this show, she definitely feels her spirit alongside her out there on the island.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's very, listen, there's been a sordid history of grandmas being represented on Survivor. So hopefully it'll go a lot better than the other guy.
Okay.
All right.
Mike, are we ready to talk about another tribe?
Yes, last but certainly not least, I'm glad you've been patient getting to them, because this is the tribe that represents patience as a concept. It is the Uli tribe.
Uli tribe, okay. And they were red.
They
tribe.
wear red. Also, again, a little bit of a break from the norm. This is a very small break, but like it feels like the first non-4-letter tribe we've gotten since what, like Uwa back in Survivor 41.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go with our red tribe, and our red tribe, our first member is Jawan Pitts.
And he's hoping his game isn't the Pits. Jawan is 28 years old, originally from Salem, New Jersey, but during the pandemic, he makes this quite literal big move to go coast to coast over to LA to pursue a career that he has now as a video editor.
Okay. All right. Jawan, listen, we love video editors.
I was going to say, hopefully he won't have too many pieces of constructive criticism for the interviews that we have to put out, but he's done some VFX for a bunch of big tentpole movies, though he hopes to sort of storyboard his own game out there. He's the oldest of 5 siblings, but he's hoping to be a bit of a little brother to a lot of the other cast out there. And again, to tease a little bit of what's going on, we'll hear from Jawan sooner rather than later when it comes to this podcast. It's a very full circle moment for him to be interviewed by me.
Yeah. He doesn't look that excited to be there.
He's got that game face on, Rob.
Is that his game face?
Yes, because I guarantee you will pick it up from the moment he sits down with me. He is like chomping at the bit. He can barely be contained in that seat.
All right. Well, I'm excited for that then.
All right. Next up on the docket, Nate Moore. No relation to Alex Moore, but a relation to a lot of people we have seen on the big screen.
Have we ever had that before? 2 survivors in the same season with the same last name?
We definitely have. The reference is lost on me at this moment. But oh yes, look at Survivor 46. We had Charlie Davis and Tevin Davis.
Oh, okay. Good pull.
As recent as a year and a half ago. So Nate Moore.
And they're not related, Tevin and Charlie, right?
Again, Maury might have to prove the results of that DNA test, 23andMe, if it's still around. But as far as I am aware, that is not
46 and me, Mike.
Exactly, 46. Double that. We're doubling everything in this season, Rob. Double the helix strands.
Maybe they're twins. I don't know. What does it mean?
Twin twist. All right. So Nate Moore, 47 years old, originally from Clovis, California, lives in Hermosa Beach, California. Rob, Nate Moore, up until about a year ago, was one of the major producers behind the MCU.
Yes. Okay. Not MC that's on this season.
I mean,
MCU is where I go to learn how to get on Survivor in 6 months.
MCU-ly, yeah. I'm a CU in the gym.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right. So how did he go from producing hit movie franchises to Survivor?
So Nate is, despite the fact that he is probably like the biggest name on this cast, quote unquote, going in, he is a dyed-in-the-wool super duper fan. This is a guy who has been watching from the beginning, is very much into international seasons as well. Him and I talk shop about Australian Survivor for a while. I hope you're enjoying Australia versus the world, Nate. So yeah, it sort of ended up like John Lovett style, almost this like coincidence where, as far as I know, they didn't seek Nate out. This is someone who had just kind of left behind this major role at Marvel. He's a little TBD as to whether or not he's going to come clean about his background, considering that, again, people might feel a certain way if he's, a producer behind the biggest franchise, arguably in cinematic history, coming to play Survivor. But Nate is going to be very fun. He calls himself pathologically sarcastic, which... I don't know what it is about these Hollywood types being able to take on that mentality, but hopefully it means some really great sound bites from Nate.
Seems like he's set up pretty well to be on the tribe with Jawan, who's somebody else who is in the biz.
Dude, you do not even know. To forecast a little bit of our tribe breakdown, I dare say, not since another red tribe in Austin and D have we had a pair set up so well to become #1 allies almost instantaneously. There is a freakish amount in common between Jawan and Nate here.
Yeah. Okay. So looks pretty good there for Nate.
All right. Next up, here he is. This is Rizzo Velovic, but we all...
What is this guy's name?
Rizzo.
Rizzo?
But we more colloquially...
Never heard of this this name before.
You never watched The Muppets, Rob? Come on.
When I was a kid, there was no Rizzo in the Muppets, Mike.
There you go. You came in at a pre-Rizzo period. Everyone's from a BR to an AR. Before Rizzo and after Rizzo is how they typify Muppet time periods. But
Rizzo, you say this young man's name is. Yes.
He's not going to be a puppet, unlike that rat. Rizzo is 25 years old, currently lives in Yonkers, New York. He works in tech sales, but we colloquially know him, as he introduced himself in the Survivor 49 teaser, as the man, the myth, the legend, RIZGOD, Rizgod.
Okay, it's coming back to me now. I remember that from that one preview that I did hear that name, Rizgod. Yes.
And if you didn't remember it, you'll hear it a handful of more times over the course of my interview. So Rizzo is the first player of Albanian descent to play in Survivor. His parents were Albanian immigrants, and as a result, despite being one of the youngest people on this season, Rizzo kind of learned that he had to grow up fast early on. That, his parents said, Rizzo, you're going to school, do our taxes. Help us close this house. Yeah. So listen, Nicole, don't worry. He'll pay his taxes if he wins Survivor. You don't need to worry about investigating him. And so what Rizzo likes to say is that he babysat his brother and Survivor babysat him. That he found Survivor during token sheens. And while JT lost his tooth, he gained a new favorite show. So this is one of the biggest Survivor obsessives we have on this cast. And so I'm incredibly excited to see what this guy is going to do. He talked to the game. Now, what is interesting is, again, this Rizgod persona has gleaned a large amount of opinions, obviously. So he does say that that's going to only be his persona in the confessionals. That outside of that, he is going to be Rizzo proper. And so we shall see who wins out at the end of the day.
Okay. All right. So maybe with Nate, he has like an alter ego.
Exactly. Secret identity, if you will.
Secret identity. Okay. We'll keep a close eye on young Rizzo's Survivor career. We will watch it with great interest.
Sage advice, Rob. And let's talk about Sage. This is Sage Arens Nichols. Sage is 30 years old, originally from Roxborough, North Carolina. Currently lives in Olympia, Washington. She is a clinical social worker.
Okay. Yes, we love to see more North Carolina representation. I know that's just where she's from, not where she lives now.
Well, it's interesting because she talks a lot in my interview about the fact that she grew up in like a very small town that kind of kept her contained in terms of identity and personality. And so she's hoping to think outside of the box when it comes to this game. Sage is, stop me if you've heard this before, a former alternate. She was the female alternate for Survivor 47. She sort of comes to Survivor by way of Big Brother, where she initially
like me.
Yeah, exactly. She follows in great footsteps here. Maybe she has more in common with you than you thought, Rob, in that Sage has this story where right out of high school, she goes into the army. She wanted to make money for college.
Okay,
and
so we're basically exactly the same.
And while you and her were both deployed in Afghanistan, Sage was watching Big Brother. She applied for the show, even though she was a fan of Survivor prior to it. And Jesse Tannenbaum was like, can I interest you in something called Survivor? And so Sage is hoping to enter the ultimate foxhole here and hopefully emerge the victor.
Okay. That's a pretty interesting background. What does she do now, Sage?
She is a clinical social worker. So she, is essentially a therapist for people with mental health issues.
Yes. So, all right. Interesting background for Sage.
All right. Next up, breaking news. Former reporter Savannah Louie is on Survivor 49. Well, it's interesting that you do that Rick Devens reference because she is also currently in Georgia. She is in Atlanta. She is
not what I thought you were going to say.
She's 31 years old, and she is originally from Walnut Creek. But Savannah currently works as a marketing specialist for
Yes. What did she do? I saw that she's a former reporter. What did she report on?
So essentially, she was in the newsroom. She said she did a lot of on the street interviews with a lot of
like Tommy Guam.
Yeah, exactly. A little more on the dour side, I would say. A lot of tragic situations, and so Savannah, very much got kind of thrown into the deep end of the pool when it came to putting herself out there, being able to think on the fly, being able to generate questions and go along with what people are telling her. And so now she's hoping that she can swim her way through in a very different setting on Survivor.
Okay. All right. So, Savannah Louie.
Yes. What I'm intrigued by is that Savannah told me, I always love this, when players talk with me about like, oh, I know who's on my tribe. And not only does Savannah try to predict what tribe she's on, she outright says that she thinks she's on the disaster tribe. So we shall see if those are foreboding words for Uli as a whole.
Okay. I mean, maybe you said she reported on disasters. Maybe she has like a sixth sense.
Exactly. She knows when something's coming.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Savannah Louie. Let's see. You know what? She seems like maybe I don't know how. I got to see how it goes. Could be, you know, I'm feeling maybe first boot.
Last, but certainly not least here, Shannon Fairweather. Shannon is 28 years old, from Wakefield, Massachusetts, currently lives in Boston, Massachusetts. She is a wellness specialist, and she also owns her own business called Her Vibe.
Okay, what do they do, Mike?
Well, Rob, of course, as one might expect when you hear the name Her Vibe, it is a women's wellness business where they are all about creating, you know, a gathering space for women to, you know, celebrate certain spiritual occasions, be able to bond with one another. That's what they're focusing on. Those are the vibes.
They're vibing.
They are vibing. And that's what she hopes to do out here on the island. I mean, Shannon is all about vibes. And I say that in a good way. She is someone who very much feels like the frequency of the world, of the universe, of higher powers that are communicating to her. Shannon has far and away the most unique prep process that I have ever heard from a Survivor contestant.
Go on.
Well, she has a bit of a Survivor connection, Rob,
yes.
in that her family owns a sports bar in Boston, and it is the former workplace of one Boston Rob Mariano.
Yeah, so let me just pull back the curtain even further, because I think I could say this.
You can speak freely about this, yeah.
Yeah, so when we just were in Boston for Survivor 48, and we did the live show, and I was texting with my good friend Rob Mariano, and I was telling him where we were at, and he was he said to me that the place that we were having the after party for Survivor I'm sorry, it was the Tuesday night patron meetup. We love to get together with the patrons the night before we do the live show, and he was saying that was the bar he used to work at, the bar that we were at.
Yeah, so it all ends up connecting, and of course Shannon was able to make use of this connection. She did ask Boston Rob for some advice before going out to play. But Rob, that's not the only one. You say, hey, how about I say AI? As Shannon apparently programmed her own AI to act with the morality of Jesus and the guru Ram Dass, but with the mentality of a Survivor player, to pick up some tips as to how to play the game.
Wow. That sentence seems like it was created by AI. I thought you were going to tell me that she used AI to talk with Boston Rob about how she should play in her own virtual island of the AI idols. But no. Who was it? Jesus and who?
And Ram Dass, who is a guru. We will get into this much more with Shannon's interview. There's a lot to get into from it. But yeah. Again, she had multiple sources to consult.
Banu said Jeff Probst was his guru.
Yep, exactly. So gurus come in all shapes and sizes, but hopefully, even if the weather isn't
what
fair,
if this works? What if Shannon wins, and this was like the killer strategy?
I mean, I think in line with one of her family's former employees, then we get the SF rules, no? And that's where you're, and speaking of a 49 live show, SF rules.
SF rules.
Well, even if the weather is not fair in Fiji, hopefully Shannon Fairweather will do well in the game. And Rob,
we are fair weather fans, so we will say.
Yes, exactly. But that's the full cast of Survivor 49. Yeah. Obviously, much more to get into over the next few weeks as you listen to my individual interviews.
Jeff said they were quirky.
Yeah, so what he outlined to me, and I'll put this out in a future interview, is that essentially, like, speaking of fair weather, the season started off very hot.
Not so fair weather.
Yeah, not speaking to maybe the quality of the cast or anything from a temperature perspective. Maybe not since Go Wrong have we had the elements play such a role in the season. But he said at a certain point, once the humidity broke, so did the game. He said that this is going to be a very unpredictable season in terms of loyalty. And yeah, he also mentioned that it's a very like quirky comedic cast as well.
Okay. All right. So looking forward to that. So I'm pumped up for Survivor 49. I know everybody's looking ahead. You know what I say? You love the season of Survivor you're with, okay?
Mm-hmm. There you go. If you can't be with the season you love
I don't need a guru to tell me that. You enjoy the season that's on, and don't be like, "Oh, I'm not going to enjoy this one because I'm thinking about the one in the future." No, there's one season of Survivor at a time that you can enjoy.
There's plenty of love in our heart for all survivors, including welcoming these new 18 people into the family. I'm really looking forward to having people get to know everyone more, complexly
every
and
more,
deeply.
yeah,
Every morning, I should say, as I get the chance to talk with them. Again, daily interviews with the cast, and then at the end of the week, Rob and I will do roundups with each of them. It's a lot of fun. It's a really fun cast to speak with, and so hopefully you all enjoy it.
Yeah. So looking forward to getting into all things Survivor 49 here over these next couple of weeks. Mike, I know, of course, over on parade.com, you will be posting your daily interviews as well.
Yep, I will also be doing one a day as well as some sort of extracurriculars. And in fact, at this very moment, you can go over to parade.com and take a look at the roundup that I did around the cast's hottest Survivor takes. I do this every season. I ask them what's their hottest take on Survivor. I gave a whole roundup of what everybody answered. This was a really interesting one because there was a couple of issues where cast members took exact opposite sides of the argument. It ends up turning into like almost a mini debate
hot
club.
takeoff.
Yeah, without them essentially realizing it. So feel free to check that out. I mentioned it before, but I did an interview with Jeff right before we came on here that I will be sprinkling throughout the preseason as well. I'm sure plenty of stuff to come. The B&B is going to come back in a few weeks' time as well. And one more thing I will tease, Rob, is that I am really excited for people to get to see the Tribal Council set for this season. I know that, again, this is something that maybe not a lot of people necessarily put their weight behind, but I will say this has to be one of the most impressive builds I have ever seen in 25 years of this show. So hopefully everyone will take a look and enjoy it, and everything should be shipshape for September 24th.
Okay. All right. We've still got so much going on. Of course, I mentioned the live show. We're going to be October 8th in New York City. And now the tickets are available to all. Go to robhasthewebsite.com/events. There's some tickets still available for the after party as well, from what I hear. So check that out, robhasthewebsite.com/events. And then still only in early, the pre-order, I keep saying pre-order, early access for the patrons at robhasthewebsite.com/patron for San Francisco. A few more weeks, and then we'll open it up to the general public. But the patrons, they got a discount. Look, you didn't hear that from me. All right. I got to talk about, speaking of all the different Survivor seasons that are on, I got to talk with your friend and mine, Shannon Gus, and I talked about the first week of Australian Survivor versus the World. And what an exciting week it was. No spoilers here from me, but you can hear all of my thoughts about episodes 1, 2, and 3 with Shannon Gus. We're going to premiere that 6 p.m. Eastern tonight here on the YouTube channel. We'll drop the podcast as well, so you could check that out. Plus, Shannon is going to continue with daily coverage where she talked to Mike Bloom about episode 3. Yeah. Another great one.
I mean, what I will say is that if you are a dyed-in-the-wool Survivor fan and you're not watching AU versus the World, fix that ASAP. This is an absolutely sensational start to a season that already had a lot to live up to, I should say, given just the legendary status of this cast. And dare I say, not only delivered, but exceeded expectations. And you mentioned patrons before. Patrons of RHAP also get access to, ways
we
and
make
means,
it so easy. Yep.
to watch these seasons too. So yet another incentive to do so. But yeah, it has been such an incredible season so far. It's such a pleasure to get to cover that with Shannon alongside Puya and Chappelle. And also, it only ends up lasting, 10 episodes. So it'll be done well in time before 49 shows up on our screens.
Okay. Then I talked about my interview with Shambo.
Nicole's mom.
Yes. Okay. We're talking with T-Bird is back. We're going to have a short run season of Talking with T-Bird. Working on a few more of those where T-Bird dials up some survivors that may be a little bit off the beaten path. And so check out my great interview with Shambo. Then we're running a new poll right now, okay? We just met 3 new tribes, but we asked the question to the audience, which new era tribe would be the best hang? So what are there? 8 new era seasons so far. We are ranking all the new era tribes 1 to 24. Who would you want to hang with, Mike?
Yeah, I do like this specific piece of criteria because I feel like whenever we get to these rankings, which are arbitrary and reductive, so is the criteria as well of like, is it your favorite? Is it the best? So very specifically coming in with the angle of who you want to hang with and whatever sort of environment it might be. We'll see who the best party people are.
The original pitch was, which new era tribe is the dream blunt rotation? I don't think we can say that.
The dream's blunt rotation.
Yeah. You can't say that. You can call a podcast that.
I would say the 4 Horsemen, kind of a mid blunt rotation, if I'm being honest.
Okay. So you can go ahead and vote for that. Do we have the link to vote that I feel like that should be part of the plug to tell people, like it should say, I think if we're going to tell people about it, I think my vote is we should also tell people that like we have a vote and audience, you figure it out where to go.
It's like its own beware advantage, right? You have to solve a series of clues to try to find it in the middle of a jungle.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So if you're interested enough to vote, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. Okay. All right. Otherwise, just stay tuned for the podcast.
If you build the poll, they will come.
Yes. All right. Then we've got the very sloppy slop episode on your birthday. In honor of you, Mike, we went extra full bloom.
I greatly appreciate that. I heard, Rob, you might have had some stuff associated with one of your Traitors cast members.
There wasn't a mention for sure. And so check that out. Some real laugh out loud moments from this past week on the slop. And that is another one that is only for the patrons. robinswebsite.com/patron. Tonight, we're back to talking Big Brother 27 and the great host of Big Brother Unlocked. Also alongside with Mike's great friend, Derek Levasseur. Don't get it twisted, everybody. Okay. He's doing a pretty good job. Okay. And so Taylor is going to join Taryn and I to talk about everything that's going on over on Big Brother 27. Speaking of Big Brother 27, the cast of Survivor 47 got together as Asia hosted a roundtable with Gabe and Andy and Teeny to talk about what's going on in this very wild season of Big Brother.
Yeah, it's very fun because, obviously the big testament to Survivor 47 from Jeff was like, everyone has experience on the top and on the bottom. And that, again, in a different way, kind of feels like the case with Big Brother 27, where it is just wildly all over the place. And I will say, if you like some talk about Survivor 47, considering that this was the last full season that people saw before going out there, a lot of 47 mentions on the 49 cast.
Okay. All right. There you go. Mike, this was so fun to get things started here with you, and can't wait to get into everything, talking about all of the player interviews. Whose day is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Jawan's day.
Happy, but it should really be a Wednesday. Should have been, and could have kind of called it Jawan's Day.
Exactly. It'll be Jawan's day, even if it is not a Wednesday.
Can we have a Jawand off?
Oh, Rob. You put
he
that
can
out
do
there
that
in the
videos.
Universe. It's got to happen. It's got to happen. But tomorrow, we're going to be starting with the Uli tribe. So the red tribe, the last tribe that we were introduced to, but we're going in alphabetical order by tribe. So we are starting with our interview with Jawan tomorrow, right here. Again, first thing in your feeds tomorrow morning in podcast form, and then at 10 a.m. Eastern in video form here on YouTube.
Okay. All right. And so stay tuned for all of our preseason stuff that we've got coming up here along the way. Thank you so much for joining us. We love to hear what you have to say in the comments. Shout out to all of our new Survivor 49 friends. Take care. Everybody. Have a good one. Bye. This is RHAP. We know reality TV.